Now let's get into it. So we know in this chapter, based on our table of contents we did in our notebook the other day, we're going to have to start thinking about proof. So let's start by walking through this one. It says justify just the last two steps of the proof. So we need to know what would go in here. So reading through the question, given that side RS is congruent to side UT. So I'm actually going to draw these separate, SRT, SUT, okay? Given that side RS, okay, so this one, is congruent to UT, okay, so that's this one. Also given that RT is congruent to US, so RT is congruent to US, okay? Prove that these two triangles, the one on the right and the one on the left, are congruent. So at this point, I only have two pieces of evidence, but I'm noticing here they listed the first item given, because it came from the given statement. The second one given, because it came from the given statement. The third one, ST is congruent to TS. So they're saying this side is congruent to that side, and I'm thinking that must mean reflexive, right? And the reason why this works is because they're actually touching each other. So they literally share this side, and that's called reflexive when we see the same thing on the left and the right of the congruent sign. Now, this is really asking, what does your evidence spell? So hopefully you're remembering this from last semester, side, 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 triangle congruence, because all three sides are a match. Good job. Now, question 2. Two of the sides of an equilateral triangle. So first off, for question 2, I need to, I'm just going to kind of draw a line here, separating that. For question 2, two of the sides of an equilateral triangle. So using my notebook, I might think about just redrawing a picture of an equilateral triangle. That's all equal angles, all equal sides. Now, two of the sides have length 2x minus 2, 3x minus 6. So based on the problems we did in class, we know if the base angles are congruent, these sides have to be congruent. So I think I can solve for x just setting this up, and this is pretty consistent with the questions we did in class and our homework last time. Okay, so I get x is equal to 4. Now they're asking, what could be the length of the third side? Either x minus 10 minus x or 6 plus 5. So when I look at that, I say to myself, well, they did say this word equilateral. So that must mean all three sides have to be equal. So if x is in fact 4, which we solved for that, then we should be able to plug this back in and solve for this side length. So if I plug 4 back in, I get 2 times 4 minus 2. Okay? So if it is in fact equilateral, all the sides have to be the exact same number, because that's what equilateral means. All angles equal, all sides equal. Okay? Now if I plug 4 back in here, 3 times x, we think x is 4. So 12 minus 6 is also 6. Okay, so that's another way to double check our answer. So really what we need to know is which expression would make sure that we get the number 6. So we could show that here. 10 minus, if x is in fact 4, 10 minus 4 is 6. So it looks like this would be the side we would need. We can double check if 6x plus 5 was our answer. Ooh, sorry about that, typo. If 6x plus 5 was our answer, 6 times 4 is 24, and 24 plus 5 is 29. So that's why this one does not work. Okay, awesome. Next question. The legs of an isosceles triangle have 2x plus 4 and x plus 8. Okay, so I gotta draw my shape here. An isosceles triangle. The legs have 2x plus 4 and x plus 5. The base has a length of 5x plus 3. Okay, so we don't really have to add this one yet. But so they're telling us that this one is different and these two are the same. So 2x plus 4, x plus 8. So the base angles are equal, the sides are equal, because they said this is an isosceles triangle. Now we're going to set the two sides equal together so that we can solve the mystery of the x. So we get x is equal to 4. Now we can plug this back in. Now this one is very similar to the one that was in our foldable question 3. So now that we know this answer 4, we can plug that back in. So 5 times 4 minus 2 would be 20 minus 2, or 18. Okay, now it says, what is the length of the base? So that's what I've solved for there. The base length is 18. Okay, next question. Question number 4 states, find the values of x and y. So when we look at this triangle, I'm going to redraw it here. The big triangle looks isosceles, right? So we know 2 equal sides, 2 equal angles. So if there's a 47 here, we can write a 47 over there. Makes sense? Now notice, if we draw in this length here, we know they have an equal angle here, 47 and 47, because the big one was isosceles. They told us these two necklaces are a match, necklace, necklace. So in fact, because of angle, side, angle, angle, side, angle, or notice this side has to be equal in both the left and the right triangle. So side angle, side, side angle, side. So because of angle, side, angle, or side, angle, side, the left and right triangles are congruent. Therefore, we know their corresponding parts must be congruent. That's CPCTC. So this is applying CPCTC. So if we know that this angle and this angle are equal, I think we know that that must be 90, because notice how that's a straight line. So that must mean that this is 90 and that's 90, because those are the only two numbers that would add up to 180. I also think we can figure out what angle Y is. So angle Y would have to be whatever is left over, right? We know that 47 plus 90 plus Y, these three angles have to add up to 180 because of the triangle sum theorem. $43. So, okay, so we can plug that back in and double check our answer. 43 plus 47 plus 90 should add up to 180, and it does. So we got x is equal to 90 and y is equal to 43. Okay, now let's go to the back and set up some of our corresponding parts. So some of this we worked on today. Write a congruent statement to show two triangles are congruent. So I like to go in the order they did. It looks like angle P has one necklace and L has one necklace. Q has two necklaces. R has two necklaces. R here has two necklaces. N has two necklaces here. Looking good. Now let's take a look, list all the corresponding parts. So in class we talked about there's 6 parts because every triangle is made up of 3 angles and 3 sides. So taking a look, we know angle G is congruent to angle T, angle E is congruent to angle R, angle F is congruent to angle W, and those are in our notes. Those are all the angles. Now listing the sides, first and middle, middle last, middle last, first and last, first and last. Those are the sides. Doing that again. X and L, Y and P, Z and O. Side XY, side LP, side YZ, side PO, side XZ, side LO.